My husband blamed me for our son's sickness and called me irresponsible while he was just playing video games all day. His own uselessness destroyed him. My husband Steve worked from home, but you'd never know it. He'd lock himself in his office playing video games all day, calling it networking with clients. Meanwhile, I worked full-time at the bank and did everything for our son Evan, who was 4. Doctor appointments, preschool pickup, meals, baths, bedtime. Steve would emerge from his office at dinner expecting food ready and complain if Evan was being too loud. He'd eat and go back to gaming. Weekends were worse. He'd sleep until noon, then say he needed to decompress from his hard week. I asked him once what was so hard about sitting at a desk all day. He said I wouldn't understand the pressure of running a business. His business made maybe $500 a month. I made $60,000 a year, but sure, his pressure. Everything was my fault according to Steve. Evan's tantrums, I was too soft. House messy, I wasn't organized. Dinner late, I should manage my time better. He'd tell his mom Joyce these things and she'd call me with advice about being a better wife. When Evan started preschool, he got sick constantly. Normal kid stuff. Every cold was somehow my fault. Steve said I didn't sanitize enough, didn't give him enough vitamins, let him play with sick kids. He'd text me articles about negligent mothers while I was at work dealing with actual problems. Then Evan got really sick. High fever for 3 days, wouldn't eat, just laid on the couch. I wanted to take him to the hospital, but Steve said I was overreacting as usual. Said kids get fevers and I needed to stop babying him. I took Evan anyway. The doctor admitted him immediately. Severe pneumonia. The doctor asked about symptoms and how long he'd been sick. I told the truth. 3 days of fever, decreased appetite for a week, coughing for 2 weeks. The doctor looked concerned and asked why we waited so long. Steve jumped in saying I should have noticed sooner. The doctor turned to Steve and asked what symptoms he'd noticed. Steve said he didn't really see Evan much because of work. The doctor asked what kind of work kept him from seeing his son for 2 weeks. Steve mumbled something about being busy. The doctor wasn't buying it. She asked me about Evan's daily routine. I explained everything. How I did morning routine before work. My mom watched him during the day. I did pick up in evenings. She asked what Steve did. I said he worked from home. She asked again what Steve did for Evan. I said nothing. Steve tried to interrupt saying he provided financially. I laughed and said $500 a month barely covered groceries. The doctor made notes. Lots of notes. Evan needed 4 intravenous antibiotics and 5 days in the hospital. I stayed every night. Steve visited once for 20 minutes and complained about parking. The nurse asked if Dad would be staying to give me a break. Steve said he had an important raid scheduled. The nurse asked what that meant. I said it meant his video game guild needed him. The nurse made more notes. Day 3, a social worker showed up. Said they needed to evaluate Evan's home situation given the delay in medical care. Steve went ballistic, saying I made us look bad. The social worker asked Steve when he last took Evan to the doctor. He couldn't answer. Asked when he last gave Evan medicine. Couldn't answer. Asked what Evan's favorite food was. Didn't know. The social worker asked me the same questions. I had dates, times, receipts, everything. She said it was clear who the primary caregiver was. Steve complained to his mom about the hospital interrogation. Joyce called me saying I'd embarrassed Steve. I said Steve embarrassed himself. She came to the hospital to see for herself. Walked in while I was helping Evan eat and Steve was on his phone watching YouTube. She asked Steve to help. He said I had it handled. Joyce asked when he'd last fed Evan. Steve said that was my job. Joyce's face changed. She'd never seen it in person before. After Evan got home, Joyce called every day. Not to check on Evan, to check on Steve. She'd ask what he did to help. The answer was always nothing. She stopped calling me with marriage advice, started calling Steve with parenting advice. He hated it. Last month I filed for divorce. Steve was shocked. Said I was breaking up our family over nothing. The custody hearing was last week. Steve's lawyer argued for 50-50 custody. The judge asked Steve basic questions. Evan's teacher's name? Didn't know. His pediatrician? No clue. Bedtime routine? Guessed wrong. The judge reviewed the hospital records, the social worker's report, and Joyce's testimony where she admitted Steve never parented. Steve got every other weekend supervised visits. He has to take parenting classes first. He blamed me for turning everyone against him. I said he turned them against himself by being useless. His mom agrees with me now. She watches Evan while I work and says she's making up for raising Steve wrong. Steve lives in a studio apartment and posted online about how men get screwed in divorces. Someone commented asking what he contributed to parenting. He deleted the post. Evan hasn't asked about Daddy once. Says Grandma Joyce is more fun anyway. She actually plays with him.